And I feel like I'm almost putting my arm against my neck. So it's like it's a weird feeling of, putting across my upper chest and neck. It just feels like it's this. And the more I can delay it, the more I can unload it. And
so, how's it going, guys? Today we're going to be discussing a very known topic in golf today, and that's how to shallow the club. But even more specifically, what most golfers tend to do to shallow the club and what they actually need to be focusing on instead. So I'm going to demonstrate something real fast. So a lot of times when it comes to our golf swing, we take it to the top and trying to shallow the club, everyone is trying to focus on externally rotating their right shoulder in the downswing, right? And that's true that happens, but it doesn't happen as soon as you think. And as well, one thing for golfers is making sure that we're not trying to forcibly shallow the club, but instead it naturally happening with just the rotation and the movement of our body. So what I'm gonna do is help you guys focus on a key concept and a movement within the lead arm that you're missing in order to shallow the club correctly without actually forcing it and hit the ball farther and straighter. So to begin figuring out how to shallow the club correctly without actually having to force it, let's talk about some of the prerequisites we need in order to shallow the club. So the most important prerequisite that we need to shallow the club without actually forcing it is first having enough turn in the backswing. And when I say turn in the backswing, what I'm mainly focusing on is the depth of this lead arm. So the depth of this lead arm should be bisecting my shoulder line. And so if we look here, from face on, we should be looking at having at least a 90 to 95 degree shoulder turn. And what that ensures is that we have enough lead arm depth in order to be able to have the club coming from the inside as we start our downswing. So that is the first prerequisite. But then the next thing is focusing on two specific movements of the lead arm. So the first movement that I'm going to describe, I'm going to put the club down real quick, is, so I'm going to get in anatomical position. The first movement is lead arm adduction and lead forearm pronation. So I'm going to break down what adduction is. So adduction is literally just the movement of a body segment to the midline. So this is my midline right here, the middle of my body. So I'm moving it towards the middle. So that's adduction. Then pronation is just rotation of my forearm clockwise. So this would be supination, this would be pronation, so palm facing down. So those two movements are the key in order to shallow the club without actually having to forcibly do it with our shoulder. So as we come down, if I take my backswing, my first move with enough lead arm depth is called turning into the lead arm. So my lead arm is going to adduct into my chest, into my body, and then I'm going to pronate my lead forearm a little bit. Now I'm in a position to shallow the club, and as you can see, with that, my right shoulder gets in the position that it needs to without having to do it like this. And the reason why this is so dangerous is just because the fact of when we forcibly have it with the right shoulder, the club gets too far under plane and we get stuck. And we still need a turn. So with this position, it's hard for us to turn into the ball with rotation. So instead, doing it with the body as we turn and just adding a little bit of that lead arm adduction, so turning into it this way. So the feeling is as if my arm is gonna move into my chest this way, as if my bicep is gonna hit my chest. And then from here, we have this lead forearm pronation. Then from here, we can continue to rotate with the body as we shallow the club. So that is the key movement that we need for the lead arm. Again, so let's do it from face on. So I have enough turn in my backswing. First move is lead arm adduction, so turning into my arm moving into my chest. Then secondly, we have this lead forearm pronation. Now we're shallow enough, and then we can rotate through without any manipulation. So that is a key movement. Now next, I'm going to go more into the specifics of how you're not able to have to forcibly do it, but instead just using the body with the rotation. And then as well, what we can do as a drill to correlate this. So how's it going, guys? So for those who have gotten a chance to work with me, you guys probably know that within my lessons and my teaching that I like to relate different sports in order to make golf more simple. Now, why is that? Because I'm an athlete myself. I've played many sports under the sun. I've played basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, soccer, ran track. I did almost any sport under the sun. And I love other sports. It helps correlate to my golf game to make me better. So with that, I like to incorporate these different terminologies from different sports in order to have a more relatable experience with my students and for them to go away with a better understanding that's more simple for them to take away for their golf game instead of feeling so bogged down and complicated from the different terminologies from golf. So with that, for all my athletes who are trying to get better at this game, comment down below ready and let's get started. So the reason why this move of lead arm adduction, so turning into the lead arm as you like to describe it, along with lead forearm pronation works is because of how it affects the body, but also the mass of the club head. So the thing is, when I have my left arm at setup, right, I have a certain radius. Then, as I adduct my left arm and turn it into my chest, if I get into this position here, you can see how it shortens my arm essentially. And because of that, that affects the mass of this club head. Because if I have my arm longer, then I'm able to have more of the muscles from my arm to control the club. However, if it's turned into my chest, I don't have as much control. And what does that do? That drops the mass of the club head behind me. So as you can see here from face on, if I have it where it's super straight, I won't have it as shallow compared to if it's turned into me, how the mass of this club head wants to move back. So like this, because I'm shortening the length of my entire lead arm, because I don't have as much leverage because my bicep is pinned against my chest. Then, along with the lead forearm pronation, now lead forearm pronation would be not the whole shoulder, not this way, this would be lead shoulder internal rotation, but instead, we just want lead forearm pronation here. And that's all we need in order to shallow the club. And so, in terms of our body, as you can notice, when I'm doing this, in order to turn this lead arm and adduct it into my chest, that you see how my upper and lower body is able to separate? So if I don't separate my upper and my lower body, so if they both go together, you can see how this lead arm doesn't adduct into my chest. So if we see it from here, if I go to the top, a little further, going to the top right here, if I start them at the same time, then my left arm shoots out. And so that's the usual tendency for those who get steep in the downswing and come over the top. So instead, we need to have the ability to have this arm turn into the chest, so more so my upper body staying a little bit stable while my lower body is able to separate, which gets the adduction into my lead arm. Then from there, you can catch the upper body up and turn straight through it. So the drill I'm going to demonstrate for you guys is going to help you to have the feel of shallowing the club while also separating your upper and lower body. So this drill I like to call is the trail fist under drill. So I want you to have a backswing. So go to the top. I want you to go to the top. Then from here, I want you to take your right fist and I want you to put it under your left wrist. Now, as you turn, I want you to start turning in your downswing, but keeping this right wrist under this lead wrist. And then as you keep turning, you'll see how that's forcing me to have that lead arm adduction and that lead forearm pronation. And then as well, you'll feel a stretch within this arm as you keep turning, as your lower body keeps going. And you see the more I turn, the more this shallows. Then from here, you can let it go and then rotate. So again, face on, go to the top, put this fist under the lead wrist. Then from here, you're gonna keep turning as you keep this wrist under here. And with that, my lead arm is getting shorter, essentially, the radius, so I can't control the mass of this club head anymore, so that drops the mass of the club behind me. And from there, I'm able to rotate without any manipulation. And most importantly, I'm able to come from the inside. So coming from the inside at this position where it's this shallow, then it incentivizes me to rotate and get it on top of the ball. So with that, try out that drill and try out that move with the lead arm adduction and slight pronation of the lead forearm in order to shallow the club and hit the ball long and straighter. Hope you guys have a good day.